This malfunction light is our engine's oil pressure light. Generally, if we don't maintain it properly, or use inferior quality oil, it is very likely to cause this malfunction light to come on. Today, we have a car with this malfunction light on. Now, we're going to take apart the engine to show you what caused the problem. This is the situation under the engine. There is quite severe leakage here. This gearbox oil seems to be oil flowing over there. And also this antifreeze. It looks like this happens quite often in German cars, especially those with turbochargers. Over time, they tend to leak fluid easily. Like in his case, both the gearbox and the engine use oil, whether it's engine oil or antifreeze, or transmission oil. For now, let's remove the oil pump first. After removing it, we can see the oil pump and filter screen. What exactly is the situation? The oil pan has been removed now. Let's check the inside of the oil pan. We can basically determine what caused the oil pressure light to come on. Friends, you can take a look at this. There is so much light here. And it's quite a lot. This is the oil filter. As you can see, the inside of the oil filter is also quite dirty. Now, let's remove it and take a closer look. Now, let's carefully examine the oil filter and oil pan. You can see, this is the oil filter. It is installed in this position. Then, look at this front filter element. There is a lot of sludge on it. It's almost completely clogged with sludge, since the holes in it are already very small. The filter screen is very dense. A little bit of oil residue. And the oil flow will be obstructed. That causes low oil pressure, which triggers the oil pressure warning light. Also, take a look at the oil. Inside the oil pan, there is especially thick sludge. There is a lot of it. There is a lot down below. We can take a look at this. And this kind of sludge won't come out during regular oil changes, because there is about 5 mm of distance from the oil pan bolts. As you can see from outside, there are bolts. The oil pan bolts are not at the lowest point of the oil pan. There is about 5 mm of space underneath. The oil cannot flow out. So the sludge just keeps accumulating. Once it accumulates, when the engine starts, it gathers around the filter screen. The longer you leave it running, the more the oil filter accumulates. If the pressure is insufficient in the end, the oil warning light will come on. After we turn off the engine, after an overnight rest, this might happen. The oil will automatically settle into the oil pan. Then on the next day, when you start it and the light doesn't come on, the longer you drive, it's more likely to light up. This means the warm engine warning light comes on. Many cases are due to too much sludge at the bottom. This causes the oil filter to clog. In situations like this, there are generally two problems when there's too much sludge. Either the oil quality is poor, or regular maintenance isn't taken seriously. It should be done every 5k, 7k, or 8k miles, but you might stretch it to 11,000 or more. Actually, doing it twice is fine, but in his case, it's accumulated over time. It could take 8 or 10 times before such a problem occurs. And look at how thick this sludge is. Extremely thick. It contains these hard chunks. They could be caused by oil quality issues. Now, what we see here is the core component of our engine, the crankshaft. These here are the main bearings and connecting rod bearings. Their normal operation mainly relies on the lubrication from the oil. So if we don't maintain it properly, or use low quality oil, it may directly cause serious wear of the bearing, or even seizure. At that point, our engine either needs a very expensive overhaul, or it's basically scrap, with no repair value. This car was luckily discovered in time. So now the solution is to clean the sludge from the oil pan and clean the filter. Then replace the oil. That will fix the issue. Look how greasy the oil pan is. It hasn't been cleaned thoroughly yet. This car has an old Volkswagen Levita. The engine equipped is Volkswagen's 1.42 turbocharged engine. The oil used is fine. It's full synthetic oil. However, this car often delayed maintenance. From new until now, 130,000 kilometers, it has always been maintained around every 15,000 kilometers. This led to more and more sludge. Over time, the oil pump filter got completely blocked. This caused the oil pressure light to alarm. If this situation continues, later it may lead to the engine exploding. or cylinder scoring, the final loss would be very significant. So, delaying maintenance, it's not that we don't recommend doing so, but don't delay it for too long. With good quality engine oil, based on the manufacturer's recommendation, delaying by 1,000 or 2 kilometers is fine. And when we maintain our car, we don't necessarily need to use the highest grade of oil. As long as it meets the standard, it's no problem. For the lifespan of our engine, maintenance is the most important, so in the future, don't try to save a little money and end up spending a lot more. Why do people say turbocharged engines aren't as durable as naturally aspirated engines? They tend to leak oil and water after a few years. Today, I'll treat my friends to the car to have a look. Let's find out what's causing this. Friends, this is a 2015 BMW 3 Series. It's equipped with a 1.6T turbocharged engine. This car has been driven for about 100,000 kilometers. It's actually not that old. It's only 6 or 7 years old, and the engine mileage is not high. But this car is now leaking oil and water. It's quite serious. Friends, take a look. This is the engine's valve cover. Especially in this position, there's a lot of oil stains now. It's leaking oil badly, including the base of the oil filter element inside. It's also like this. This is also plastic. This valve cover is made of plastic. And this is its turbocharger. The turbocharger is over here, and it's very obvious. On this turbocharger, there are 2 water pipes. They are specifically for cooling the turbocharger. There are sealing rings inside these water pipes. It's leaking water now, including the bottom. Everyone can see this water pipe near the turbocharger. It's also starting to leak water now. For this car, it's because it has a turbocharged engine. Unlike this turbocharger, when driving at high speed, or when the engine is at high revs, it generates a lot of heat. The temperature is very high. When we drive on the highway, it may turn red. So the surrounding rubber and plastic parts, including the valve cover, are very prone to aging. After aging, the sealing performance decreases. This leads to oil leakage problems. You see, the right side of this engine is fine. The right side is very dry. There are no oil stains. It's basically because it's close to the turbocharger. The temperature in this area is relatively high. This leads to more oil and water leakage problems, especially the plastic pipes connected above. Friends can take a look. This plastic pipe is now severely aged, and it's already rotten. This plastic pipe is still from the turbocharger. It's a plastic pipe that comes after the burst. So, if there is air leakage in this place, it will have a great impact on the engine's power and fuel consumption. Many rubber and plastic parts in this engine compartment. For example, this thing. This is a hood release cable. The black stuff on it. Normally when it's new, it's elastic. It's like a protective sleeve. But now, because the temperature is too high, it ages over time. You can see it's like asphalt now. It's very sticky to the touch. This is also a common problem in many German turbocharged cars. A common problem, including these water pipes. These plastic parts are starting to age. This kind of plastic itself is not very durable. In addition, the temperature of the turbocharger is too high, causing the temperature of the entire engine compartment to be too high. Firstly, it's these plastic or rubber products that break down first. So oil and water leaks become very common in the later stages. Let's take a look at this car. This is a naturally aspirated engine. And this car has been driven for 130,000 kilometers over 10 years. This engine has a very small displacement, 1.0, and it's also a 3-cylinder engine. But the condition of this engine is very good now. You see, the outside of this engine is very dry. There are no oil stains, and it doesn't leak oil. This kind of small displacement engine itself doesn't have a heavy workload. Its compression ratio and other aspects are relatively low, so its temperature is relatively lower than that of a turbocharged engine. So, the rubber pipes inside this engine still feel very elastic when you touch them now. These intake pipes are in perfect condition. And all these cables and lines, rubber and plastic parts, including the water pipes below, are still very, very elastic. They are in very good condition. So, it's not prone to water leakage in the later stages, even if it's driven for another 3 to 5 years. I believe it will still be in this condition, unlike those turbocharged engines. After running for 3 to 5 years, there are many rubber and plastic seals on it. Or start to age. The problems of oil leakage and water leakage will definitely increase. So, even if a turbocharged engine leaks a little water, after you fix it, after 2, 3 or 5 years, this problem will still occur, because the temperature inside is always very high. And another thing is, now many turbocharged engines really like to use this plastic valve cover. That is, for weight reduction. But this plastic is not heat resistant. Like that naturally aspirated engine just now, this valve cover is made of aluminum alloy. So temperature has little effect on it. It won't deform even after a long time, but this kind won't work. The pipe close to the turbocharger is prone to deformation, but there's no problem here. So after 1 or 2 or 3 years, once there's an oil leak, it needs to be replaced. Actually, this oil leak has been going on for a long time. It's just that it hasn't been replaced. Turbocharged engine, because of the existence of the turbocharger, the relative operating temperature is much higher than that of a naturally aspirated engine. Plus, many cars nowadays are designed for weight reduction. Many water pipe drains, including the valve cover, are made of plastic. This kind of material will be affected by the ambient temperature in the later stage and age rapidly. Especially for models of European and American brands, many parts are made of plastic. So in the later stage, compared with a naturally aspirated engine, it's not very durable. It's very prone to oil leakage and water leakage problems.